podcast with Mashile.
I'm Poncho Mashile.
And we've been married for 9 very happy years.
9+, Joe.
Yeah, it's 9+, actually almost
9+.
10 years.
Yes.
But we don't want to jump the gun and say 10.
Yeah.
We want to get excited when it's really 10.
Mathematically speaking, you can round it off, Like, just saying.
So what's the driving force to our marriage?
Joe, I think it's what God has always revealed to me, that I need to choose a woman that is beautiful to me, and her beauty every day, it motivates me. So it's I think if you were not as beautiful as I wanted you to be, it would have been a struggle. Just saying, like I would have to drag myself to love you. Love, but I'm serious. Am I a comedian now?
No, you're not. I'm just trying to think. I mean, there has to be much more than that.
No, baby. The rest you are saying, yeah. You're now messing things up. You see, it's your beauty. The fact that you're beautiful the way, and more than the way I would like you to be, and your beauty, it's like that beauty that continues, you see. Like the minute I think I understand it, and then it messes me up. Then I'm thinking I need to talk to the boys so that they don't allow you to go out, because somebody will snatch you. Those with money don't have money, see. Mara, you know my heart. I got baby, not gonna leave me again. Not gonna leave me.
No, by the way, guys, like our kids are so cute. They're like, Daddy, make sure you give mommy money,
baby,
so that other people don't give her money.
Driving force.
Okay, so the driving force for me, I think it's love. It's happiness, keeping the peace in the house. I think that's very important, because when you don't have peace in your home, I mean, like, what's the point? You know what I mean? So I think just the love and the peace and just the family environment that we've created for our family, I think, has been the driving force, because then that makes it easy for us to, sort of go through the years. That's why I'm saying it's been like 9 years of a happy marriage. Yeah. Whew. Yeah, ish.
But it all started with me, no?
Yes, so you can actually answer first.
I think what happened is I met her sister, and then the prophet in me came out, and I didn't know whether she was in a relationship. I didn't care.
Wait, who? My sister? Or
You. When I was talking to your sister. So I didn't care whether you were in a relationship or not. I just said, your sister's gonna be my wife. And then she laughed about it, and then she said, she said a lot of stuff. But I said she will be my wife.
So you knew because of you saw my sister, you liked my sister, and then my sister was in a relationship.
No.
Then you said, then I'll marry your twin sister.
No, it's not even.
I'll marry the leftover.
No, you see, there are certain things we take for granted. God gives you these
signals.
These abilities. And if you have this relationship with God, you will see these things. You see? Amen. Amen, Mrud.
So I think how I knew that he was the one, I think just the kind of man that he was, and the fact that we're like such opposites, I think I've just like always been at the back of my mind. I've always known the kind of man that I wanted to be with, but somehow I was attracting the wrong kind of man, But when I was with you, I think I tried to fight it so much, and I was like, no, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. And my husband was so persistent, and he just stayed
Tactical.
through. He just stayed through all the drama and all the no's, and eventually, when I said yes, I think that's when I realized, I was like, okay, you know what, this guy's actually good for me, because I think in a very long time, I have somebody that actually loves me, and somebody that that sees my worth. as a woman, and he's just not like using me. So yeah.
Yep.
I think I would say biggest defining moment was when we became parents, when we had children, and that obviously happened very early in our marriage. So we literally, like, in our first year of marriage, we had kids already. So I think they just really like introduced us to ourselves. Basically, we really didn't know who we were. We thought we knew who we were. We thought we knew what our purpose was. We thought we knew, what kind of couple we want to be, or what kind of parents we want to be. But when we had children, man, it just changed everything. And I think that was really a defining moment in our marriage, because we had to step up whether we like it or not, because we're two human beings that really depend on us. So there was no playing. It was just like, guys, you better step it up. And they're still keeping us on our toes to this day.
I think, just to add on that, it's the when you know that you make up your mind that I cannot let these little ones down. And for me, that has been, it removed a lot of options in my head. So options such as what happens if she goes left, what happens if she goes right, and the only focus I had was, then we will get through it together. Yep. So and that was because it was no longer up to the two of us. It was also the little ones that now we have brought into the picture, and they did help a lot, because there were times where one would think, you know what, if these kids were not here, I would definitely walk out.
Oh, really? Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense, yeah. I think for me as well, and I think that's a very natural reaction, and not that you're staying in the marriage because of your kids.
Yes.
But they sort of like
they calm you down.
Remind you of why you're here, and they remind you of the bigger picture of what marriage is all about. It's all about a lifetime commitment, and kids are a very good example of a lifetime commitment. If you have a child together, that's the only thing that has both your DNAs, so they literally keep you together whether you stay together or not. The kids are like a lifetime. You can't undo that. So yeah, I think that's
I think it's kids need to be educated around what mommy does, what daddy does, and from there kids adjust to that. But if you then make kids make decisions on their own, they would want to, even when you are not available, and then that will be hard on you, it will be hard on them. So I think with our boys, we taught them so much that when they need us, we know they really, really need us. But they never...
they're very dependent.
Yeah.
Or independent kids. And I think for me, especially me working in the media industry, it really, really does get stressful. It really does get, a lot, because the hours are crazy. And, you get home like at 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning. The kids want breakfast. Before you sleep, the husband wants dinner. And there's needs, and he's like, oh, can I have my wife? Like, my wife's wife. Like, okay, sharp, you've served the world and you've been working, but we gotta do the deed, baby. And I'm like, what? Tired. But I think the beauty about wearing so many hats for me, I think I look at everything that I do as a blessing. So having kids is a blessing. Having the job that I have is a blessing. Being a wife is a blessing to me. And I always remind myself that, Lord, these are all the things that I've been praying about years ago, I actually, even before we had twins, I wanted to have twins. It's something that God knew. So everything that I have, I've prayed about it and I've asked God for. So none of those things can now be a burden to me now that I have them. So every time I feel so exhausted and I feel so tired and I feel like, oh, I can't do it, I remind myself that, this is actually a blessing. Like, and then I embrace it. Like, instead of complaining, I embrace it. I embrace the fact that I need to wake up, I need to take my kids to school, I need to go and shoot, I need to do my photography, I need to do school, I need to cook, I need to service my husband.
Amen. Amen.
You
Must
know,
put me somewhere.
exactly. So with all that, I'm like, okay, Lord, let me use this 24 hours that you have given me to wear all these hats that you've given me, because the fact that you have granted me, it means that I can handle it. So I draw strength from the fact that I know that it's all a blessing.
I think just a tiny add there is that it also helps for partners to do the scenario discussions.
Yeah.
What will we do if this happens, and how should we handle that? I think if partners don't discuss and talk about their time and how they would like to spend time, then they will end up making assumptions about how they should be living their lives, and eventually they will fight. And I think what helps us a lot is the discussions.
Yeah, like I'm very vocal about family time. Like my husband gets, carried away when it comes to soccer, because he loves soccer and he loves his work. So if he goes to work, if he goes to soccer, he could do that every day basically and forget that there's this wife and kids, and then yes, you'll come home, but you'll be finished, you'll be tired.
As long as I see you there.
So then I become the voice of reason and like, okay, you know what, today there's no soccer, today there's no work. I'm all about date nights, family time, holidays. For me, it's just all about time, because I think it's really all we have. Time is the most important, commodity when it comes to building a family. And our kids need to be in that environment where there's mommy and there's daddy.
Financially, spiritually, and emotionally. I think definitely there is a lot of expectation on men, more especially financially. Let's start with that one and get it out of the way. I think to provide for your family, it comes a long way, and other men are able to step up, others are not able to. And I think it also goes back to the communication in the house to say, you need to, as a couple, you need to talk about it. You need to find a way to really balance it out. Other men are gifted in a way that they can handle it by themselves, but others are not. And then what happens in that case? As a couple, you need to discuss it, the details. So that is one on the finance side. It is there, and it will always be there for now until further notice. And then the second part, spiritually, it is critical that as a couple you understand each other spiritually. For instance, it can't be that the man says we're going to Sangoma and the wife says we're going to church. And if that happens, then you'll have a forever divided family, and then you operating from different foundations, and that will cause a constant fight. So I think what helped us a lot is the fact that we understand that God is the beginning of our relationship. And through we know that everything that we have is because of God, and everything else just piles up on top of that. And then lastly, there were three: emotion, spiritually and emotionally. And emotionally, then you have to pace yourself according to your abilities. There's a lot of expectation, obviously. When we say emotionally, it's broad. It's broad, very broad. And you need to interpret it for yourself and say, this is what I'm able to do, this is what I'm not able to do. Such as when you're in pain, a portion of your emotion is hurt. Others are taught to keep quiet and cry inside. And you need to get to a point where, as a husband, you say, this is my partner, my life partner. I'm not planning to get out of this. So she needs to know how to also massage me and nurse my ego to some extent. And also, not everything emotionally you have to let out. because it's then misunderstood. You're explaining a lot. So it's again a balance. You don't want to come across as a sissy, more especially when you are a man guiding the whole family. You need to push that strength. Amen. Baby, say amen.
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 Expectations I think will always be there, and unfortunately being in the public eye, can you imagine how many expectations you have from how many different people who live their lives differently, and I think as a wife, obviously it's even worse, because like wives are meant to be like wives, it's really that wife thing, and I don't even have that. I think I'm like, even after 9 years, I'm still very young to even, be a certain zone that they expect you to be in. And I think for us, but that works for us though. I'm just a very chilled person, and our family is very chilled. And we've just kept it like that and lighthearted. And I think another thing that, we've decided very early on in our marriage, we're going to do things our way. We're creating our what do you call this? We're creating our own, what's the word? What's the English word? We're creating our own standards. We're creating our own ways of living. We're creating our own definition of love, our own definition of family, our own definition of how we raise our kids. Like we like don't let anybody define us. And I think we're so blessed to even have families who give us the space to do what we want to do. We're a little bit of rebels, but we enjoy learning from our own mistakes. We just want to do things differently. Like even our kids are like that. They're just like crazy like us. They go and visit, and my sister will be like, "Jeez, your kids, they are so vocal, like, and they're so different." It's like, okay, they're not traditional. Like this is what we eat for dinner. This because we do everything so differently. So. We just very chilled. We just take life so easily. There. And actually, this was my question.
It was.
Yes.
Oh, I thought I should carry one.
No, I didn't talk about the expectation.
But the thing about, you mentioned something very critical about a family giving you space. You don't get it by default. You demand it. And if you don't demand it and you play soft, you won't get it. And you find everybody
going to dictate your marriage.
That's all I wanted to add.
And I think it's very unfortunate because life is so short, and every day is a gift. And the moment you don't get to live in your own truth, the moment you don't get to just live life as it is and the blessing that it is, and the way God has given it, it's just, for me, it's a loss. It's a loss of, I think I would feel so depressed in this 9 years if we had not done what we wanted to do. And with that said, let us also not mislead people into thinking, you're disrespecting your parents, or you still respect your parents and you ask guidance from the Lord, But I think the most important thing is to really find happiness and find peace within your family. And I think everybody else is going to literally respect that. And even our kids, the day they get married, it's going to be hard, but we have to let them live their truth.
What's going to be hard?
It's not going to be hard.
To let them go?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that moment where they go. What's hard there? What's hard? Huh? They must go. Like kids, when you come and watch this video, you must go. I love you, but you must go.
Sure.
Daddy loves you a lot. Go to your people. Yeah, they'll have them as small persons as well, and they must leave me and my wife. Yeah, you are done. Okay.
The way we were before they came.
Yeah. And it will rajola pila because of you. So you must just go. What
do you love most?
Is that your phone ringing?
Pause
your phone. Someone's phone is vibrating. Oh, it's yours. You can hear it. Okay, sorry.
It's my mother calling me to order. Sorry?
What do you love most about this?
Okay.
Start so that if you don't credit me correctly, then I know. Just below yours.
So, what I love most about my husband is that he's an incredible man. Outside him being an incredible husband and an incredible father, he's just a really, really good person. He makes me laugh so much. Like, I never thought this man was funny. You know, his jokes were just irritating me. One day, I just woke up and found him funny again. I thank the Lord. When I was just like,
you're gonna
just
kill
stop.
Kill my vibe like that.
And then, and I love how responsible he is. You know, I think, you know, sometimes I don't actually appreciate him enough. I don't actually tell him enough what a responsible man he is. Like, I don't know. I don't even know any. I don't pay any bills in this house. I don't pay nothing. My husband's just very responsible. You know, like, he really takes he takes pride in looking after his family. And anything that I do is just a bonus. And for me, I think he set such a great example for the kids, because when they talk, everything's like, Daddy does this, Daddy must do this. It's like they don't even count me in. Like, I'm not even an option, because he's just so, you know, he just takes pride in looking after his family, and he's a very respectful man. He loves people, and yeah, and I think he made me love people as well. I think I was a little bit, although I'm in the, you know, sort of public space, I was actually a very shy person, you know, and an introvert. And my husband and people, he would host brides every weekend, like, and he'd be like, get out of the room, come and cook pap, we are hosting. And I'm like, what? So until and we were like, oh no, and it wasn't that at all, but he just made me come out of my shell. And it just really I just love the fact that you love people. And I was like, geez, man, I've been missing out all these years, you know, like interacting with other people and showing other people love, and you know, being such a giver. Like, we'd rather like not have something. My husband's just like such a giver. I could go on. I could really, really go on. But I just love the way my husband is in general a good person and a good man.
Amen. Is this about me? Ooh. Pedro. Oh, sorry. We're still here.
Just buy me something nice. Say thank you.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Just a little diamond. Just, you know.
Kisses are not enough.
Answer.
Oh, okay. The answer. I think what I appreciate most about my wife is, first thing, my wife is beautiful, guys. Sure. Umbone mavuga jonga tufake makeup. Damn it. I wanna one thing I can tell you is that I think God spent most of his time creating my wife, and as a result, a lot of people suffered, because now you are supposed to be answering prayers. Then God just took leave and said, I'm not answering any prayer. I'm busy making a beautiful woman for this man. And that happened. And over and above that, I think it's what I appreciate about my wife is what I hate about her. So it's I don't know how to explain it, but it's the things that irritate me about her that makes me love her even more, because I'm a guy that loves challenges, and as a result, every time she would throw a curveball. For instance, I would be in a good mood, and then she would just interrogate me, why are you happy? And then I'm angry, but at the same time, I like the fact that she saw that I'm happy, and then she wants to know why. So it's little things, taking care of the entire family. She takes care of us. Alone, I don't know where I would even start. I couldn't cook as I was still single. I've never cooked in my life, and I'm not planning to cook. So that means I have to stay married to her, okay? So now I'm forced, okay? And what else? Did I mention the fact that she's beautiful? No. Yes. She's very beautiful. And then I think she's very rational. And every time there is a hype and I'm being emotional, and come home, I'm angry at someone, I'm angry at Pindu Pindusa Diki, call the pastor, I'm angry at him, and then my wife would then sit me down and say, you know what, you
love
can't.
your brother, don't
yeah.
you?
And then at times I'm angry at my sister-in-law for jumping into our business, and then my wife will calm me down, and I just like how she balances me out. So yeah, I can, like she said, it's a subject that we can discuss for the longest time, but I really, I don't think God would have blessed me this much if she was not by my side. So she has brought me closer to God, and as a result, I'm able to receive from God. And otherwise, then it would have been another woman who would have pushed me away from God, and then the devil would be dealing with me. So this marriage is a blessing to me. This woman is a blessing. And all of these babies, you see, they not so much of an encouragement, but more of an advice. I think we watch a lot of movies. We follow a lot of high-profile people that are married, and then we want to subject our partners to that kind of a life. That must stop. You may watch a lot about romance and everything, and you may read a lot of books about men or women, but just know that your partner is different. After reading all of that, you now have to go home and read your wife and understand her in an isolated manner, and treat her as a different being. And every day it has to be intentional, that you want to know your wife, you want to know everything that she does and how she does it. And the unfortunate part is that it doesn't stop. Why? Because she's growing, and as a person grows, that person changes, and that means you have to be part of that change, and you have to influence the change. But if you go and read this manual and these books, and then you come home, you want your partner to then behave in a manner that romance was described in a book. Hashem, I feel for you. You'll be married for 1 hour, and some of us will be married longer. Okay, that is my advice. Take time, and it has to be intentional. Take time, learn your partner, understand your partner, spend time just observing what she does, how she does it. And some of us, even to this day, after 9 years, I still don't know this woman, but all I know is that I love her, and I will die by her side.
Oh, that's sweet, babe.
Yeah. Okay, back to romance. Yeah. Romance. This is a romance angle.
Okay, so I think, my advice now to other married couples is to take it easy. Like, it's not that deep, honestly. Like, it's not that deep. And I say this, like, genuinely, because I feel like people take themselves so seriously and they forget to live in the moment. Like, live in the moment, have fun. I know, life is just, can be stressful. You might not be financially where you want to be in your career. You might not be where you want to be. You might not have the kids that you want. You might not have the kids that you want. Things might just not be going your way, and you might be married and you feel like, you know what, it's, only if I was not married. No, it's not that deep, guys. It's really, really not that deep. That 100 rand that you have, you can afford to have a romantic picnic with your husband. So we like that. Whatever we have, we make use of what we have. We can literally, like, share one plate of food, as long as we're in Cape Town.
Including my kids.
If you want to be in Cape Town, we're going to be in Cape Town, and we're going to share one plate of food.
Amen.
But would be where you want to be and would be happy. So just don't take yourself so seriously. Just enjoy life, and it's a blessing. And remember 4 things that are very important: God first, love, money, husband.
Yeah. Money is important, definitely.
Lots of sex.
Yes.
Okay.
That's sex.
That's deep.
Hang, and
Hang who?
hang hang that woman. In the car. Okay.
No.
In the car. Must do it.
This is my answer. No.
Na kirga support. I'm being the supportive husband here.
Where was I? Wait.
Okay.
Kiteng.
You said you did it in the car.
Wait,
okay,
no, I never said that. I said God. I said love. And then I said
money.
Sex. And then I said money. And lastly, and which is very important, time.
Okay.
Make time. Be intentional about spending time together. Make time. There's no marriage if you don't spend time together. Like a marriage is not a marriage certificate. A marriage is a companionship. It's a relationship.
Amen.
So with you working and making the money to pay the bills in this house, I still make time to see you, you know, as my husband. Nothing is more important than time. Yeah, I think that's That's my.
I had sex.
You.
That's all I had. Sex. The what? What did you say?
Highlighted in your head.
No, it's important to men. There's no man who will claim that sex is not important. All of them. Even Baruti, the whole pastor, after the sermon, what do you think it motivates him to preach? How? It's God.
It's okay, baby.